Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and I look like I'm like a fan of Bring Me the Horizon or something with this. It needs to be cut. It's getting a bit too emo for my liking, but weird way to start a review. But yeah, so we're going over to Mikkeller, and we're looking at an entry into the Spontan series, and this is the SpontanDoubleRaspberry, which is a sour ale brewed with raspberries and aged in oak barrels. In a 500ml can with absolutely gorgeous artwork from Keith Shaw, as per usual. Looks absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I've always wanted to try and get into these sorts of beers and getting into the Spontan series, but just never got round to it, do you know what I mean? For some reason. So, bit of a warning, and I'm just going to be honest, there would probably be much more informed and satisfactory reviews of this on YouTube. But yeah, I thought it's the England game now. It's actually just about to start. England versus Sweden. Even though Mikkeller are a Danish brewery. But yeah, I thought that'd be a nice little beer to have while we watch football. And this is clocking in at 7.7% in a 500ml can, which is very generous. Always appreciate craft beer in a 500ml can. And this was actually part of Mikkeller's July beer club box, which was really good stuff. I've just had the Supersonic from Lervig, which was just absolutely phenomenal. It really, really was. So yeah, I thought of getting in some Mikkeller action, and if you've been interested by any of the beers that I've received from both the Mikkeller Beer Mail and the Mikkeller Beer Club boxes, then I'll put my referral link down below, just so you can get yourselves your own box and experience it for yourself, see how it goes. But yeah, I've got a healthy selection of Mikkeller beers now, which is a stark contrast to just last year when I hadn't really touched a Mikkeller beer for some reason. I don't know, it's weird, isn't it, how it works with craft beer, and you start off thinking, oh god, I've missed out on this release, oh, I've missed out on that beer, I was really looking forward to picking it up. But it's at that point now where there's so much good quality craft beer, both domestically and internationally, that you don't really feel the urge to have to get, like, this is the most on-trend, fastest selling, most popular beer. Yeah, it's great to get it, and if it's good, even better. But at the same time, it's like, why put yourself through all that pressure? There are so many great beers widely available to you at one given time, both in bottle shops, supermarkets, and of course online, that you don't really have to worry too much now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm finally getting to try one of the Spontan beers, and I do enjoy raspberries. My dad bod physique obviously says differently, but when it comes to fruits, do enjoy a good raspberry. So yeah, so sour ale brewed with raspberries and aged in oak barrels. I'm going to expect some nice complexity with this one. So without any further ado, let's get the beer opened and see what we get, using just a small taster glass for this one, because I want to try and drink this slowly and not just demolish it like I do with 99% of the beers that I drink. And yeah, look at that. I mean, you're not really seeing the colour too much on camera, but that is a lovely dark raspberry colour, sort of like pinky purple. Loads of sediment in the bottom of that already. Lovely pale pink head, and yeah, it looks like raspberry juice almost. Do you know what I mean? With a little bit more density to it. And yeah, it certainly looks wonderful, especially in this really nice Hop City glass. Thank you, Harry. So let's see what we get on the nose. Just pure raspberries. Oh, it's such a lovely smell. It sort of like goes into that slight winey balsamic vinegar sort of territory as well. But it is all about those raspberries. And had to double check the spelling just so I could reconfirm. Do you ever do that when you know the word, you know the item, but you need to be prompted to what it actually is? And yeah, this smells really, really nice. It's like tartness in there, as you would expect on the nose. You do get that oaky tannin sort of character, but it's not like too harsh like some of them can be. Lovely slight fermented sourness as well. But yeah, that smells really, really nice. Not too sweet, but not too vinegary, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oi, oi, oi. I always love that like first hit of beers like this. It's like the first hit on like a potent bong. Do you know what I mean? It's like woohoo, but then you ease yourself into it. Yeah, all about those raspberries. Beautiful raspberry character. You know when you get like a pack of raspberries and you're eating them and it's got really nice like soft flavours, and then you get that one that catches by surprise because it's like, it makes you like shudder almost when you bite into it. It's like that. I'd love raspberries if you could, if they were to pick all of those types, somehow detect which ones would be like that and put them in the little, you know, plastic packages that you get them in, because I could just chomp on that stuff all day. But this is lovely. Not too tart when you get into it, not too sour. Although that being said, it does build up again as I'm drinking it. My eyes are slowly starting to sting. But yeah, it's just like every sip is like, oof. Do you know what I mean? It's like a little bit of a jolt, but not in a harsh way. And yes, I know my hair is absolutely terrible today. That's why I mentioned it at the start of the video, you fussy buggers. But who am I talking to? Why would I insult them? I don't know. But yeah, this is really nice light body to it. But then it's got this like slight pulpy syrupy edge in there as well. You do get that slight balsamic vinegar flavour, but again, not too intrusive. It's so well balanced as a beer as well. It's like real craft and passion has gone into this one. And that oaky barrel sort of just adds a little bit of a slight savoury tone to it. You definitely pick up the woodiness in there, but it complements that raspberry beautifully. And yeah, that's a lovely, lovely beer. It really, really is. Alcohol is masked really nicely, but again, you don't want to just chug it down because you do feel the acidity as it's going down the back of your throat. But yeah, it's one of those ones that is packed full of flavour and character, but at the same time, it's somewhat accessible. And if you like your sort of wines and that sort of thing, I mean, this would complement like a really well cooked steak. And when I say well cooked, I don't mean well done, because nobody should ever cook a steak well done. You've done a severe disservice, not only to yourself, but the animal that sacrificed its life to provide you with such a treat. So never, don't you ever, well, you can if you want to. If you like steak well done, fair play. But this would go absolutely beautifully with a nice, well-cooked steak. Fried off in a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt and pepper, maybe a clove of garlic frying in there as well. Don't need to go overboard with seasonings. And this would just pair beautifully with it. It would pair beautifully with a lot of, I could imagine a lot of Italian dishes would be nice with this. And you could, see, I always want to try with beers like this to do some cooking with it. But if it goes wrong, then you've wasted the beer. I'd love to see if I could make a really nice vinaigrette with that. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, what would I use the vinaigrette with? Just because I want to make something doesn't mean I should do, because then if you've got nothing to use it with, you just made it for nothing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is lovely. It really, really is. I love the simplicity of it. You know, it is robust, but it is still simple at the same time. And it is all about those raspberries. It's so tasty. It really, really is. That's a wonderful beer. I cannot pick out any faults on it. Is it a beer that I drink on a regular basis? Hell no. Hell no, because I could imagine my stomach acid. Yeah, the acid reflux I would get from doing a session on beers like this would just be, oh, it would be intolerable. But this in between, you know, on its own, beautiful, and a perfect little beer to have in between, like in a session. Do you know what I mean? Just waking up your palate, then dilute it again with like maybe a bit of water, then go on to the next beer. Probably completely the worst way you could go. I don't know. I'm still learning myself, but yeah, man, that's absolutely lovely. And if you love your sour beers, then you're gonna really enjoy this one. Don't know why I'm whispering right now, but I think the beer's making me do it. The beer maybe makes me do other things as well, but there's a different website with an X at the front of it for that sort of content. I'm only joking. Who would pay? Who would watch that stuff? Do you know what I mean? And if you do, then feel free to get in touch, because maybe we can sort something out. I don't know. What the fuck am I talking about? This is such a lovely beer. Yeah, I really, really like that. It's a little bit apprehensive going in that I wouldn't appreciate it enough, and probably if my palate was trained a little bit more, I would be able to pick out a few more specific sorts of flavours and maybe compare it to other styles of beer as well. But a lovely, lovely beer. And just something a little bit different. I've not had a beer like this for a while. I mean, I've got a creek in the fridge, which I might pop open, because, you know, if England win, even though I've not really been paying too much attention, then yeah, if everybody else is having a drink, fuck yeah, I'm going to open that creek that I've got, the creek in the fridge. But yeah, lovely stuff, and I want to try more of the Spontan series. So if you've tried this one, or any beers similar to that, not just from the Mikkeller Spontan series, then give me your thoughts and recommendations down below. I don't care how elusive or how widely available it is. I want to try more beers like this so I can give better opinions and develop my palate a lot more. But my palate at this point can really, really appreciate this beer. So, you know, if I was to try this just even like a year ago, I would have probably said, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's wonderful stuff. Really, really is. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 from me. I cannot fault it at all. Perfect body to it. Perfect amount of tartness. Perfect amount of raspberries in there. Not too sweet, not too sour. Just balance. Balance is key sometimes. And yeah, fantastic stuff. So if you have tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions. If any of my fellow friends, if any of my fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, their reviews will be included down below. Check out Mikkeller, check out my Mikkeller playlist, check out the Mikkeller referral link down below, and more importantly, I hope you enjoyed this review and you'll join me next time for another beer. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.